Welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. We're gonna do an energy check-in. I also have an astral travel, but I think I'm probably gonna have to make another video about that, like its own video. How's everyone feeling today? I just want to thank you for being here. I know that my audience for my longer readings is way different than the shorts, but the shorts audience did get me to my goal yesterday. I really wanted to get to over 100,000 views on my channel, and here we are, 102,000 something. And that was my goal for the weekend. So happy Monday. May you be receiving all of the packages you are waiting for today that you didn't get yesterday. Same. And also, may you do what you should and feel necessary and called to do for your own goals. I had another goal of wanting to get to 280 subscribers, and I'm short of that. So if you're here and you haven't subscribed, or if you want to make some fake accounts, come on over. I need 2 more subscribers to get to that. Alright, we're using the Yin Yang Oracle. I'm just checking my analytics. I am not a big quantifier at all. Like, I absolutely hate quantifying. And so I'm kind of in this moment of liking it. But really I'm just kind of playing with the algorithm to be so fucking for real with you. I'm messing around with what time to upload stuff and what's working and what's not. So remember that we as humans are the ones informing AI, so we can crack the codes. Alright, we have third eye clarity, assistance from spirit guides, compassion, nurture, renewal, and spark. I'm not taking reversals. This energy already has positive and negative aspects to these cards. And then we have detachment, cold, past, lack, and suffering. And then we have earth energy. Could be zodiac signs, could just mean that we need to ground. So if it is zodiac signs for you and your situation, then that includes Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And then we have the courage to change, which is probably my favorite card in the deck, because I think we always need to have the courage to change. Change is the only constant. Everything is constantly changing. The sooner we let go of the control of that and allow ourselves to flow within it, the better. And the more fun, right? You should be having fun. Wow. Alright. Now, then we have after change and empowerment, after change and courage, we have sun, strength, and empowerment. I need one more. Where are we doing 3 rows? Alright, I guess we need 7 more. We're gonna do 3 rows today. I didn't do a good reading yesterday. This looks like pretty much the same as past energy. This could have to do with these retrogrades being done, also the full moon in Libra catapulting people into certain energies as karmic retribution or karmic justice, because we do have shadow work here. Anyway, after empowerment we have spy, watching, and inspecting. We have distance, retreat, or time out. And then we have the masculine energy coming out with shadow work, dark night. If you are going through a dark night of the soul, I've done a lot of stuff to support you because, yeah, it's a grueling ass process. Are you going to give me 7 more or what? What are we doing here? Should we take this one? I think we should. Maybe we'll just be done for now. These are getting kind of quiet. Alright, you gotta be careful with this party and external on the bottom of the deck. The last time we did a collective check-in, that was our main energy. But our main energy today is third eye clarity. It's just the process of getting to that third eye clarity is a little intense. But anyway, I have shadow work aspects. We have childhood or inner child healing playlists, shadow work playlists, decolonizing playlists. So check out what playlists there are. A lot of them, I've done them very short, quick and sweet, so that we can actually get it done, you know? And then there are longer aspects for each of those as well. The collective combos are a great place to go if you need, support or normalization around pretty taboo topics. You'll find those in collective convo. All right. So, the good news is that through this awakening process, you do have support from the other realms, from your ancestors and spirit guides. But the bad news is that until you get to some sort of clarity or third eye awakening, your third eye is a very legit physical thing. It's called the pineal gland. It is in our brains. And a lot of the powers that be, or a lot of the products and things that we ingest, both physically, like by eating and drinking, and also, chemicals we put on our skin. Shampoo is a good one that'll help close our third eye. Toothpaste is a really big one because it has fluoride in it, and fluoride calcifies your pineal gland. So tartar, like tooth tartar, does it kind of does that, to your pineal gland, which is in your brain. So anyway, the point I'm getting to is the healthier lifestyle, more holistic we can be. I think those things go really hand in hand. There was one point that I was absolutely skyrocketed to very high dimensions, and I had a very hard time staying on the planet. And I ate pizza because I knew that pizza would ground me. And it was actually in the times of Pizzagate, so I was getting I was in California, and so I was eating California Pizza Kitchen against my better judgment because I knew that the vibration would bring me back down. Music is another one. Frequencies and vibrations through music are another way that your pineal gland can get rocked a little bit. So anyway, as much as this is a physical process, this is also a very metaphysical process as well as spiritual process. And I think that's what we talk about in all of those aspects of shadow work, right? Of the Dark Night of the Soul. I did do a collective convo about Dark Night of the Soul and Ego Death. You're going to want to watch both of those because Dark Nights of the Soul are usually started by an ego death. And you can choose if you're going to go into psychosis or if you're going to stay grounded. Or if you're going to just retaliate and go crazy. Violent crazy. And ego deaths can be really gnarly. All of this can be really gnarly without the proper support, so that's why I'm recommending to go check out some of this shit. Because you need to have compassion for yourself. You need to be able to nurture yourself through this process. It's not that easy. I've been on this journey for over 20 years. And I got incarcerated and medicated many times. I was in those cycles, and that was because I had really bad people around me who wanted to assert their control over me. It's a different story, but I'm just letting you know life is very much a choose your own adventure, so you can choose how this goes for you. Now is the time to awaken. Also remember that the powers that be are doing everything they possibly can to break our spirits down, to instill fear. Fear is a very, very powerful controller. But I'm thinking of that line from the Hunger Games when Mr. Snow says, President Snow, I always do that, President Snow says, the only thing stronger than fear is hope, and we don't want them to have hope. Okay, I gotta go grab my charger. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, peep the shirt. Pothead. Hang on. BRB. Since you didn't eat the breakfast I made you. Okay. Oh, hello. Is it dim for you guys on the other side? I don't know. Anyway. Hi, Hootie. Mr. Hootie. Get your hands off of this cord, buddy. Get Mr. Hootie over here, sprawled out. Hi, I have ADD. Okay. Alright, I'm getting greedy now about my views, which is not what I'm trying to do. Okay. Renewal and spark is kind of the process of this reawakening that we are going through, or awakening in general. I like to think of our soul as like this larger energy, like, I don't know, this might be a little too abstract for someone, but I like to think of our soul as like a larger energy and our spirit as like a more wispy energy. Like last night I was thinking, I'm like, I have an old sad soul, but I have a very young happy spirit. And so if that resonates for you, finding balance within those things, as well as our 3D reality, right, can be part of this process. I mean, it is part of this process, but like, it's part of this process of totality and recognizing who we are, right? And that comes with different parts of healing. So, I don't know. I'm trailing off because it makes more sense in my head than how I articulated it. So anyway, we do have these detachment, cold, and distance, or retreat and timeout, which have been coming out pretty consistently for the past few weeks. I thought with retrograde that would maybe subside, but there are those lingering energies. So if you're there, I think for sure going through a dark night of the soul, it's very important to distance yourself from things that could alter your process in a negative way, right? So like certain behavior, like I wouldn't recommend like doing a bunch of drugs while you're in the midst of a spiritual awakening, having a bunch of sex. I would a little bit subside on the sex, drugs, and rock and roll until you've made it through the labyrinth of this process. And as well as like negative people around us, which a lot of people can't really, but that was my thing. That was the reason I kept cycling, was I had so many negative people around me, and they were my family. And I kept them in my life until last year, and then I finally, I'm good. And you can see that visibly what happened after I let them go. I got more confident. I stood 10 toes down in my purpose. Last night I had that realization too after I met those goals that I was trying to meet. Of like, I've finally ushered myself fully into my purpose, and like there's no going back. And I think that's the thing when you choose to take this route of consciousness, of embodying divinity and anchoring in otherworldly things that you receive from channels and from your visions and from your ancestors or spirit guides or whatever it is you believe on the other side. And you don't even have to believe in anything. I think so much of what's wrong with this world right now is the belief, right? Like, especially religious, like faith and belief, and there's a lot of decolonizing around religion that is probably necessary for some of us. So anyway, we do have this past lack and suffering coming out Don't stay there, but I would recommend when those things come up, allow them to be teachers, right? Allow those, recognize that you're not in that space anymore to the degree that you were. Even if that was just a couple hours ago, be like, oh, I had a really bad headaches are a good example, and that's a physical example, but like even emotionally as well. Like, oh, I had such a bad headache this morning and now it's gone and I feel so much better. But like instead of sitting in that, this is just an example. Instead of sitting in that, oh my god, I had a headache this morning. Oh my god, I don't want to get another one. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, when things have passed, we use those as teachers and we are like, okay, what can I do to prevent that? What do I think caused that, right? Sometimes I get headaches when I'm sleeping if I eat too much sugar before bed. I don't think I'm diabetic, but I am paying attention to what I eat, right? So, like, if I wake up with a headache, I'm like, I didn't drink. What is this about, right? So, again, this curiosity and wonder versus judgment and, what's that word? Doom or detriment, or like this expectation to have it come back, right? And like, don't shoot yourself in your foot, okay? I think we've talked about that enough. We are going to need to have the courage to change these things. I'm thinking of the serenity prayer, so 12-step programs or addiction may be relevant for some of us here right now. I always fuck up the serenity prayer. What is it? Grant me the serenity. I don't know. I don't know it. I would pretty anti 12-step programs, but you know what I mean. The wisdom to know the difference of two things. I don't remember the first two lines. Okay. And that speaks to this strength and empowerment, recognizing that you are strong. And I think most of this stuff is just a mental flip, right? Like we've been so indoctrinated to victimize ourselves and consumerize ourselves and our problems, and instead of doing that, this process of awakening is more like recognizing that emotions are communication, that our brains work differently from others for a reason, because we're all supposed to have different ideas to like present the world, right? And find the people who like are parallel to us, or find the people who like make these perpendicular like intersections to our work. And like, you know, when we have intersections, that's way more roads for other people, right? So like that's that networking globally and like working locally thing, right? When we present what it is we do to the world, even if we don't feel ready, we are aligned with others who are the same or like similarly different that can build, right? And like I'm thinking of flowers like bloom from these things. So know that you're strong. Release what others have said about your own empowerment. Call your power back to you, like tug of war. Call your power back to you. And you can just come up with like a motto. I'll share mine again. Mine is call my power back to me so they can see that I am not the motherfucking one. So do whatever you need to do, right? And it can change, okay? Don't worry about people spying, watching, and inspecting. Again, those could be people who are similar and who are being inspired, and that's what we need, okay? It is coming out under nurture and compassion. So I feel like people could be supporting you in that way. Sometimes this can be bad, sometimes it can be whatever, but I mean, if you're putting shit out in the world, you want people to watch, right? We already talked about distance, retreat, and time out. And then we have the masculine energy coming out right next to the dark night. And we're ending this reading on freedom, leap, and opportunities. So taking that leap of faith. I do want to just acknowledge that going through a dark night of the soul is not a one-time thing. It's not a one-night thing, regardless of the name. Again, if you're grappling with that, go to the Collective Combos and check out the Dark Night of the Soul one. Again, I recommend watching it with the Ego Death one. But a Dark Night of the Soul is when you integrate your shadow side, and we do a lot of that work over here. I have like a fuck ton of shadow work stuff. In fact, right now, as some of the shorts, we are going through the Shadow Work Oracle. So if that's a daily thing, if you've got 10 seconds in the morning, I'm posting those first thing, so that people can sit with it all day. And then we're doing the more gentle stuff in the evening. So yeah. Oh, I gotta post this other video. I'm really practicing being in communication with my guides and trusting my intuition and the guidance that I'm being given. And I'm so fucking stubborn. So I totally get it. I've been through this process, like I said, over 20 years. And I'm still so stubborn. Like last night I had very clear downloads of what time to upload certain videos, these shorts, to get the best algorithm hit. And I was like, okay, but let me try this first. And I'm like, I can always just delete it if it doesn't do it. And so I tried uploading, the last one I did was the Spirit Speaks. I tried uploading that about 10 times. And finally I was like, okay, you guys told me 8 o'clock. So I'll post it at 8 o'clock, and then I'm going to put my phone down. Because one of my guides is my grandpa. And one of his sayings when he was alive was, a watched pot never boils. And so I was hyper fixating on the count last night a little bit. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll put my phone down. I'm going to upload it at 8 o'clock like you told me. But I had tried it like 6:30, I think 7:15 or so, and then maybe even 7:45. I tried to upload it, and I was like, okay, it wouldn't go anywhere. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I'll upload it at 8, and then I got in the shower. I get out of the shower, and I was like, okay, fine, there's nothing I'm going to do about it because you guys told me 8, so even if it didn't go anywhere, I'm still not going to upload it, right? Like, I'm trying to practice this discernment and this discipline. And like I said, stay in communication. And so I was like, okay, I'll do my lotion and I'll get ready and like do my hair and stuff before bed. And then I'll check it. And it had gotten over 2,000 views. And I was like, okay, fine, I trust. So I share that story to tell you, as you awaken your third eye, as you become a channel for these other realms, right, in a non-schizophrenic way, we are all connected to this divinity. We all have these gifts, but like I said earlier, the things that we ingest are affecting our ability to have those open channels of communication. So hopefully we can get to this point of freedom, of taking a leap of faith, of trusting the guidance that we're receiving, and then not getting in our own way as well, right? Which I'm telling myself as well. So we just posted that one, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, play around with the algorithms if you feel like it. Do whatever you feel like. Put your stuff out there, though. The world needs your ideas. We need you. Have a good one.